Hey guys, what's going on? This is Unwound Again. Today we're going to be looking more at the Nintendo Game Boy, and we're doing a retrospective of it for today. So, the Nintendo Game Boy was released by Nintendo in 1989, and what Nintendo did is they actually released technology, or this gaming handheld particularly. They released it with 2-year or 3-year-old parts, so it'd be cheaper. The Sega Game Gear, which was released in the same time as the Nintendo Game Boy, it had a color screen, and it was way more expensive for its time. It was $189, I'm pretty sure, and the Nintendo Game Boy went for $89. And since it was way more expensive, people were more reluctant to get that, so they decided to get the Nintendo Game Boy since it was the cheapest, and a lot of people had it back in the day. So the Nintendo Game Boy handheld was a black and white lime green screen. As I said, the Sega Game Gear had a color screen, and of course, if they released a 3 years older handheld back in '86, if they did that, it would have the same parts, but it would be more expensive. So they decided to release stuff older, and it was way more cheaper for Nintendo, way easier to sell. Definitely way easier to sell than the Nintendo, not the Nintendo, the Sega Game Gear. So, this one's actually in pretty nice condition, except the battery cover is gone, and, so this one's in pretty nice condition. A lot of them are not in good condition. Actually, I have a better one over here called a Play It Loud, right here, and, the manuals, I got this with this thing, actually really nice. Looks like no one ever even opened it. Of course, the Nintendo Game Boy was very easy to operate, so people didn't really need the instruction manual. Here's the consumer information and precautions booklet. Of course, it opened up to big paper. I won't even have room in the camera to get into that. So, let's demonstrate the Nintendo Game Boy. Alright, so got Tetris. This one don't have batteries in it right now, so this one actually has a battery cover for once, so I'm going to demonstrate on my Play It Loud version. Alright, so this is Tetris. This was a very popular game they shipped with the Nintendo Game Boy back in the day. A lot of people are familiar with this game is in this day and time. It was a very popular game back in the day. Of course, I'm not very good at it. Never was. I ain't the worst player, but not bad at it. But that's pretty much a demonstration, and that's a look at the screen. I think the Game Boys aren't to be played now, but to be played on the Game Boy Advance. If you really want to play the games like this and games like this, I think that a Game Boy should put up to display and stuff. If you had like a cabinet, put some glass over it, put some lights in there, it makes it really nice. You should really do that. That's what I'm actually gonna do. Make a cabinet, put some glass over it, put some fluorescent lights in there. It'll look pretty cool. And so yeah, that's pretty much the original Nintendo Game Boy for you. So I do not have all the consoles from the original Game Boy to the Game Boy Micro, actually. I don't have them all, but I have all the main ones. That's all I really need to see to figure this stuff out. So let's slide my Game Boy. Actually, hold on, I forgot about something. I forgot to show the accessories. There's a lot of cool accessories for the Game Boy, including the Game Boy printer, Game Boy camera, and a case, I guess, for a game. But the Game Boy printer actually had a hookup, plug up there, and you could print out pictures. Now, people would most likely, when they went to pick up a Game Boy camera, they'd pick up a Game Boy printer along with it. And they would take pictures, and they could actually print it out on there. Of course, it wasn't extremely good, but it was pretty nice. Of course, they went with the same color scheme on both of these. On this one, there was actually all kinds of different colors on this one. I think the Game Boy printer was released first, then the Game Boy camera. I'm not exactly sure, so you can go find that on Google as soon as you can. But yeah, so that's the accessories, and of course here's a carrying case. That actually worked very nice. Right, it's 30 cases. This one's still really nice and sturdy. So yeah, that's pretty nice. If it even wants to come out, there we go. Alright, so let's move on to the Game Boy Color. I'm going to leave this in here. I'm going to demonstrate it. Alright, here is the Game Boy Color, which actually is not as bulky as the Nintendo Game Boy. See, this one's a little bit smaller, except for the little hump coming out the battery door. That was actually very comfortable in your hands, though, like that, so that was pretty cool. Let's move this over here. And here is the Game Boy camera with the Game Boy Color. So I'm going to just demonstrate the Game Boy camera in the Game Boy Color. So let's go ahead and do this. And also, something else I want to say is games like Donkey Kong. For the original Game Boy, of course, it was black and white. So you would not have any color. But Nintendo was very smart, and they knew they were probably going to release a color console in the future. And they did, so they added color to these games, and that way you would have color on the Game Boy Color. So that was pretty cool. They always took their time on games, I could tell you that. Alright, so let's get into the Game Boy camera. Sorry about that light, this is the best you're going to get here. Okay, so basically I had shoot, play, and view. And of course this is color, so you could shoot pictures. Let's go ahead and switch this to the other side. Of course, yeah, you're never going to get a good view here. No blank frames, great. Actually, I have 0 left up there. But basically, you could take a picture. Of course, there's my Game Boy over there, right there. And you could take the picture. Of course, I have no frames left. And then you could plug in your Game Boy printer, turn it on. You got to feed with paper, which I actually have a lot of new papers left too. You feed it with paper and feed, turn on, and you say to print it. It's actually, I'm not sure what's in this, but the ink will last forever in here. So, of course, it's still working nice. Alright, next up, we have the Game Boy Advanced SP. So, the Game Boy Advanced, it played a lot of Game Boy games. I actually played every single one of them, in fact. These were the standard Game Boy Advance games. Of course, I have Super Mario Advance. This was a Game Boy, original Game Boy game. And this was a Game Boy Color game. Actually, Game Boy Color games and the Game Boy original games actually exactly the same height. Almost the same width, you can tell there. I think this one's a little bit bulkier, but just slightly. And these did not go into the original Game Boy, of course. These didn't either, of course. You can obviously tell by how little this one is compared to that. But, of course, the Game Boy Advance SP, they ran every single one of these games. So I could go ahead and slide in some Donkey Kong. They had it littler here. You can also make it bigger. Just stretches it. You see this color? That's what I tell you. That would be all black and white on the original Game Boy. They didn't have no color whatsoever on that. So this is what they did. So whenever they could play on their new consoles, they would have color on their original Game Boy games. So that was a pretty cool feature. And then of course, it's gonna work also with Game Boy Color games. This is Driver. Of course, it's gonna stick out here, but I don't really mind. This is also a littler screen, because of course this was a little screen too. This is Driver. So it worked with these two. And of course the game designed for the Game Boy Advanced, which has the bigger screen. This is actually a, let's see here, focus it in here. Right here, AGS 101. The 001s did not have backlit screens, so I made sure to get a 101. You can brighten it up a little bit and make it smaller. Of course, that's all we need for now. And, of course, we had the full screen this time. So that was really cool. And that's pretty much the Game Boy retrospective for you guys. So, of course, we come from the Nintendo Game Boy to the Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advanced. This was released in, let's see what this says here. 2000, around 2000, that's all I know. The 101 was released in 2002, but I know the first Game Boy Advance SP, I think it was 2000. So that's pretty much it for the Game Boy retrospective. And I want to say, I did not have all the actual handhelds from Nintendo here. These are all the main ones. There was actually, after the Nintendo Game Boy, there was a Game Boy Pocket that was smaller and had a better screen, but was still black and white. Then the Game Boy Light, which was only released in Japan, and had a light just like I had on the watch. If you turn on your watch and you need a light in the dark, that's what it was for, because you could absolutely not see a Game Boy in the dark, because it was black and white. Neither the Game Boy Color, unless you had one of those lights, overhead lights you put on there, also for the Game Boy. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then one more thing is there's actually a Game Boy Advance. This is the Game Boy Advance SP. There was our original Game Boy Advance. Was actually more like shaped kind of like this. You're not really gonna figure that out. But yeah, that did not have a backlit screen. And I really like the design of that. Really want to get one of those. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe if you can. So see you guys in the next video. Peace out.